not sleeping on the street. I'm a capable human being.
Making conscious next steps.
I'm a conscious human being.
And seeing growth really happen.
We some hip hop niggas, like we don't need to vocalize it to make shit like that's what I can.
I promise God,
12-hour day
my
type shit.
stomach broke.
Listeners, thank you guys all so much for tuning in. We're now listening to the Flyer Pop Podcast. I got some beautiful guests with me today.
Peace. What's poppin', world? It's your boy Remy Supreme. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Flyer Population Podcast. It's the episode 1 of season 3. We got a very special episode today. We're introducing something new to you guys. We kind of switching things up a little bit. You guys will see what'll happen. Though I'm not gonna let the cat out the bag too early. But just to give you guys an update, we are in the DMV right now. We are currently in Fruit Studios in Herndon, Virginia. Make sure if you're a local artist trying to make some music, hit up Fruit Studios. It's a spot to be at. Herndon, Virginia, right in the town of Herndon, downtown. What is it, Eldon Street?
Old Town.
With the big homies, we all here. So come on down, man. This is the new spot. This is the wave right here. I got a really special guest with me today. My nigga Danny.
What it do?
What's poppin' with you, bro?
Is he ready to do something?
All right. Well, tell the listeners a little bit about what you got going on.
So, right now I'm running a social media page. It's called Strong Black Fathers. Been doing it for a couple months, getting some good traction with it. And then there's some other ventures here and there that I'm into as well.
So that's like Danny's also gonna be co-hosting with us on the future episodes of season 3. He's gonna be helping out and really helping us get some exposure to these artists, these new people that we talking to. I guess we could start with that. Like, what really got your interest in? Like, when did you start fucking with podcasts or just like journalism and shit?
I feel like podcasts for real, maybe like two and a half years ago, there was like a real estate podcast that I used to listen to a lot. It was called Bigger Pockets, and that helped me get into real estate when I first started looking into that. But then it transitioned into something more. Like I was listening to like TED Talks, the TED Radio Hour.
Yeah,
that was a good one. And then the host of that ended up branching off and creating a whole nother podcast called How I Built This, and that's about entrepreneurs who have built like really huge companies. So we're talking like Facebook, Instagram, Airbnb, things like that, and just the stories of how they got to be where they are now. So that really captivated me and made me interested in getting into that world. So I wanted to be able to be a part of podcasting and have that audience that you might not get any other way.
Were you ever like watching YouTube videos and stuff beforehand? Because I know me, before I even like realized what podcasts were, like podcasts just sounded like something like random and weird. I don't even know how I even got into it. I know I was really into YouTube and like watching Hot 97 and The Breakfast Club and shit like that. How did you fall just into a podcast?
I don't know, man. I think I might have did some research or something because I'm not that big on YouTube, never have been. So like watching podcasts and stuff like that, to me, like watching a podcast and listening to a podcast is a whole different story because I can listen to a podcast in my car on a drive,
right? And
that's not too bad. But if I have to watch a podcast, then I'm gonna have to sit down and take the time out of my day to sit there and watch it. So I like to listen more so than watch. And I don't know. I think somebody must have told me about a podcast, and that's how I started getting into them.
Yeah. What's some of your favorite joints out right now?
How I Built This, definitely. That's an NPR one. Tim Ferriss Show. Obviously, the Flyer Population Podcast.
You already know what the fuck going on.
Yeah, those are definitely my top 3.
Those are some solid jokes for sure. So how did let's talk about the Instagram page, man, because that's probably one of the most things I'm impressed by. You got a lot going on, especially since I moved back out here. I've noticed how you've been very like business oriented and like business heavy. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's start with the Instagram page though. How did you get into that? What made you think of Strong Black Fathers as an Instagram page?
I have no idea, man. I know. I was thinking about my relationship with my daughter. Like I got a really good connection with my daughter, good bond with my daughter. That she's the most important person in my world. And I was thinking about just like, I don't know, like, are there a lot of pages out there that are showing that? So I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to curate an Instagram page and try to build it up from nothing. So why not dedicate it to that? And honestly, I'm a private person, so I don't like to have all my stuff out there. So I'll look for different posts that are already out there on Instagram, on the internet, that people have that I feel like people are gonna like. So that's where that came from.
How long ago did you start it?
I want to say beginning of October, so it's been 3 or 4 months.
And you already have 4,000 followers.
4,000
Bro,
growing.
you got five.
It's
10
close.
right now.
It's close.
Last time I thought this nigga was at 2K. This nigga was like, nope, we doubled up on.
It's good, man. It's going pretty well. It's like one of the cooler things, like one of the posts that I just put up, I think yesterday, like I think right now it's like at 70,000 views.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool, man, to be able to do that for other people, because like they want their stuff out there to be seen, obviously, or else they wouldn't be posting on Instagram.
Right.
But what's even better is that like I get to go in, look at these hashtags, find this really good content, and then post it in a way that more people are going to be able to see it. And then if it's I guess deemed worthy enough in the Instagram algorithm, then it's going to get picked up by a lot more people. One of the coolest things that happened is like one of the first videos I posted was this dude and his daughter. They were like giving us a secret handshake. It was really cool, man, and it was like, to me it was powerful because it reminded me of my relationship with my daughter. We got a secret handshake and stuff like that too, and like so many other pages started posting that. So much so that it got all the way up to Essence, and Essence reposted it, like Essence magazine.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I thought that was really big. Like that was really powerful, just to have that dude like get that type of exposure for the relationship that he had with his daughter. Yeah. And he hit my DMs. He was like, "Yo, thank you for reposting that. Like you're the first person to repost that." And like it got a lot of traction because of that.
So you made
that shit was like a good feeling.
Like,
yeah, that shit was a good feeling to be like, just to help somebody out in like that small type of way.
Hell yeah, that's tight. That's super fire. If this isn't too personal, like what's your relationship like with your father?
Non-existent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never knew my pops. My whole life, and then he passed away. I want to say like 2 years ago.
Damn, for real?
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, man. Do you think that had any influence on the page, or like
that had influence on my relationship with my daughter?
Yeah.
Definitely. Not so much on the page, maybe, but definitely had a bigger influence on how I view my relationship with my daughter. Yeah.
What has fatherhood done for you, really? Like, how have you changed since you became a father?
It shook the hell out of me. Like, shook me up like to the core, because before she was born, like I wasn't doing too much. Like I was making pretty good money and I was doing some sales and shit, and just partying for real. Yeah. Like not really doing too much. But yeah, man, like right when she was born, like looking at her when she was like laying in like the little incubator, like I was just like, I gotta step it up.
Right.
Like there's so many things that I've wanted to do, that I've talked about, that I haven't been doing. I was like, I gotta step that shit way the fuck up, and just that to me has been like the biggest motivation in my life.
Do you ever slide any of your own like personal videos onto your IG
onto
page?
The page? Nope.
No?
Nah, bro. I got my own personal page for my own personal posts. I was thinking about it, like every now and then I think about it, but I'm like, nah. Like I'm gonna keep my personal page to my own.
Yeah, just keep them separate. It's two separate things. So you had an idea to you're gonna do a podcast soon too, right? Mm-hmm. But it's not gonna be a Strong Black Fathers podcast, right? Or
no, it actually is, man.
Tied together?
Yeah. So Strong Black Fathers, I didn't realize the necessity for, like the market for it.
Right.
And there's a lot that can be done with the brand. Like I just wanted to create an Instagram page.
Yeah.
And then I get people hitting me up like, thank you for this page. Like this page means a lot to me. Like, have you thought about doing this? What can I do to help you? I want to help this page. Like just getting that type of feedback is like, I didn't realize what type of need there was for this content. And being able to get that feedback from people who are, on the page or liking posts and stuff like that has helped me realize like I can take Strong Black Fathers in so many different directions.
Word.
And that's one of the things I'm going to be focusing on this year.
That's what's up. Yeah, I remember you mentioned the merch and everything, like getting merch and stuff popping for the page. Mm-hmm. How soon do you think about starting the podcast?
The podcast.
You don't want to let too much out?
No, I'm good with letting that out. The podcast, I'm probably going to be starting sooner than later. And when I say sooner than later, I'm talking like this quarter. So cool. By March, I already got some people lined up that I want to talk to. I already reached out to a couple people who I follow or they follow me. So that one, hopefully I can get that off by March.
Dope, man. Well, Flyer Pop is here for it, bro. Any support you need, we got you.
Yeah, man.
What kind of, was there any, because you clearly have had a lot of success in a very short amount of time, what was some of the the biggest obstacles you faced trying to create the page and just gain a following? And was there anything you really struggled with?
Yeah, just finding content, I guess, and understanding like Instagram's algorithms and how to capitalize off of like videos or pictures and stuff like that. So yeah, like it took some time. Like I know like it took a while for me to probably get to like even 1,000 followers, but after a certain point, like it just started flowing, man. Like the videos I was posting were getting a lot of reposts, and like I could see like other pages like reposting it without giving like credit and stuff like that. And that's cool to me because that the page is doing that well. You know what I'm saying? Like people are liking the stuff that much that they're taking the stuff just from my page, and they're not even going to the source content.
Right.
And moving on with their own thing. Like I've seen like 3 or 4 different pages like pop up that are like literal side by side exact pages of mine.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but like they just like they different name and they use like different hashtags and stuff. It's funny, but it's like I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
Because like people are trying to create that avenue as well.
You're becoming an influencer. Like that's
I guess so. I guess that's what they mean when they say social media influencer.
Yeah, that's what you are now.
I guess so, man. I guess so.
Like with all the success you've had, like where would you like to see the company in 5 to 10 years?
You already spoke on something. Definitely gonna have some merch that's gonna be coming soon. The podcast is gonna be coming soon. And man, I don't know. Like, there's so many different places I have lists and lists of ideas of what I can do with it. A website, blogs, videos, things like that. So I have some ideas, and we'll see what happens in the near future.
Could be like a reality show and shit too.
Could be. I mean, it could go in that direction. I'm not the biggest fan of reality shows myself, but I mean, if the audience is there and then people want it, then of course, we can always look into it. But
that sounds, and if from the sounds of it, it'll probably be a benefit for that reality industry because there's a bunch of just junk content. Could potentially be just some real positive,
very true,
uplifting content.
And it doesn't even really have to be like long-term reality TV. It could just be like little short clips or something. But yeah, that's definitely something to think about. Have to talk about that.
Yeah, man, that's tight. I'm fucking with it. So you went to college and everything though. You went to what school did you go to again? JMU.
Mm-hmm. James Madison University.
What'd you get a degree in?
Criminal justice, man.
Would you have ever thought while you were getting your criminal justice degree that you would be popping with an Instagram page right now?
Nah. I honestly, like, I was like real like skeptical of like Instagram like for a while because like I just felt like it was a lot of like clout chasing and stuff like that. So I was just like, I'm gonna stay like on my own page, like maybe post like every now and then, but like not feed too much into it. But yeah, like in college, man, I was like I said, criminal justice. I initially thought like I was gonna go to like law school and like be like a lawyer or some shit. It was not for me. Nah, man, it wasn't for me. I took the LSAT, the PLSAT, the practice LSAT. And I did pretty well. Like I didn't do awful, but like I took an internship and that was that for me. I was like, I know I don't want to do that.
Was it too much like dirty work or like shitty work, so to say? What was like? What made you know that this isn't for me?
I don't know, just the vibe. Like just knowing yourself and being able to like connect in an environment and like just seeing that world. I was just like, nah, that world's not for me.
Yeah, I feel that. What was the switch up after that? Like, what was the plan once you realized that? What was your game plan? How did you?
There was no real plan, man. It was just like that was like my 3rd year. Like that was my junior year. So I was like, all right, I'm not gonna change my major and then be in college for like another like 3 years. So let me just finish up, get the degree, and I'll figure something out. Like I've always been pretty confident in myself that I can figure something out. So I ended up getting into sales. Like I told you, I was doing sales for a while until my daughter was born.
So business, because like I said earlier, you've definitely been really heavy in business lately. You mentioned to me privately that you help your mom out with some business stuff as well. Mm-hmm. When did you realize that business was something you were good at? Or you still not having, maybe not? Nah. It's not that I'm not trying to brag too much, but I don't know. Like I was thinking about it earlier today. I was like, man, like what got me into this? Like wanting to sell stuff, like wanting to be business oriented. I remember, I had a teacher like in 8th grade. And we had like a project. It was like create a product and sell it. Mm-hmm. And me and 2 guys from middle school, we made a CD, like a rap CD.
and we sold it throughout the school. Like we made money off that, and like we won the competition and stuff. Like it was crazy. You know, it was like, to me, that was my first experience with creating something from the ground up, building something and getting it out there. So ever since then, like I've always had like that itch to do my own thing.
What, y'all had like actual songs and stuff on
We had
the album?
actual songs. It was called, I don't know what the album was called, bro, but the group was called DMZ.
Yeah, nigga.
And the shit was goofy, man. Yeah, we were in 8th grade, man. It was me and it was these two dudes. Like this one short white dude, his name was Mike, and he had like a high pitched voice. So like it was mad funny when he would come on the mic, and there's other dude named Zach, and called him Z-Dog. It was real funny, man. Like it was like
two white
so
dudes and a
goofy.
black dude in a rap group.
Yeah, man, it was so goofy. But it was like this 8th grade, Loudoun County, you know what I'm saying, like predominantly white area.
Yeah.
But just to see like, cause I remember that project. Like people were making like clothing and like cupcakes and stuff like that, but we did something completely different. Like nobody else touched that. So that's how we won the competition.
Something that people connect with too.
Yeah, for sure.
Hip-hop
For
shit.
sure.
That's what's up. Who's you mentioned, we talked about you being an influencer currently. Who do you look up to? Who's some people either business wise or just personally? Like, do you have anybody that you look up to or
Yeah, man.
kind of model yourself after?
Yeah, so business wise, I'm pretty basic. Like Elon Musk is definitely like a huge influence on me, like just by somebody who wanted to do something and just did it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he wanted to do it and he found a way. He taught himself to code, sold PayPal, turned PayPal into Tesla, and you know other different avenues, SpaceX and things like that.
Yeah.
And then also Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin, like Virgin Communications, Virgin Airlines,
Virgin
everything,
Mobile,
all that. Yeah, that dude, same thing. Like he's a very much so type of person who's like, I'm gonna do something, and he does it. And I try to model my behavior off of that. Like most recently, like prior to probably just like 6 months ago, I used to overthink a lot of things. Like I'd be like, I don't know if this is gonna work because this and that. But like people always say it all the time. They're like, there's dumber people than you. And I'm not saying like me personally, but there's dumber people in the world who are doing things that you could easily do because they're not overthinking it. Like they just go out there and do it. So like I'm trying to find the healthy mix of, you know, trying to think about things that are gonna work, but then when I have the faith and the perspective to know that it could work, just to do it. And if it fails, what's the worst that can happen?
Don't overthink it too
Right.
much. Just let it happen.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Joe Rogan and Elon Musk interview?
I watched a little bit of it. I watched bits and pieces of it.
What do you think about him like smoking weed, promoting weed, and people hating that shit? Like, our stock went down and everything.
It went down for a little bit and then went right back up. I mean, people, it's weird because like we're moving towards like people being more okay with like weed, but then like when they see somebody like that who's like supposed to be like this CEO and like super business oriented, and they see somebody like that do it, they feel a certain type of way. But Elon Musk will tell you himself, like he's just a dude, like he's just a guy, like just making things happen. And I think, you know, more so than that, like his mind just works differently. I don't really care too much what people think of somebody smoking weed. Like that's weird that people are still like criticizing people over shit like that, but it is
What
what it
effect
is.
would that even have on his product in a sense? Like, why would that?
That's what I'm saying. It's like a 30-second clip of him hanging out with somebody and they're smoking weed. Like he's not fucking building a car at the time. You know what I'm saying? Even if he was, but it is what it is.
Elon Musk is tight though, cause I know he's like real estate right now on Mars or some shit. Like he's trying to sell properties on Mars for whenever we end up doing.
Yeah, he's doing a lot, man. He's doing a hell of a lot. That is one thing that he's looking into. He wants to be like the first man on Mars right now.
That's pretty crazy. I have a cousin who's actually trying to be a realtor for him.
Really?
On that stuff. He's actually like, he has signs and stuff. He has a whole like campaign going where he's trying to get his attention and I can't think of his name, but like another super rich dude. His name starts with an R. I can't think of it. But he's been like campaigning them like in LA with street signs and stuff, just pushing,
trying to get their attention.
Yeah, like pushing like what he's trying to do. And he's a successful dude himself on his own.
Yeah.
But he just has like a really big vision. I think it's pretty tight that I actually see him being successful with it too, just because of like what social media can do. He did one thing specifically where he made a YouTube video pitching his campaign, but he changed it in every different language. Like he did in like 50 different languages or something.
That's
so
crazy.
other people could understand what he was trying to do and shit.
He does real estate?
Yeah, right now he does real estate and he was doing some other stuff beforehand, but he's trying to get involved with the Mars thing specifically. I thought like that's just like so forward thinking. It's like how can you even like believe that can happen? Like, but
why not?
More power to you for doing it. You know
why
what
not?
I'm saying? That's definitely like I don't know. Like even thinking about going on Mars, it's like a crazy thought. You know.
I'm just I'm sitting here thinking about it right now. Like who knows how far we are from that point, but. Because it could happen.
I recently read about them already advertising like space travel as like a vacation thing.
Yeah, that's currently happening already.
That's crazy to me, man. That's crazy.
Like you can go in orbit and then come back. You know, as a vacation, it's crazy expensive, but
right.
Yeah, you can do that.
But we talked a little bit before, back to the business thing. We talked a little bit before about some of like your investments and just being involved in that. Talk a little bit about that, like how you got involved in like Robinhood?
Robinhood is the app that I use for my investments. But I think, I don't know, for me, like I've always tried to like figure out like how all these people are like doing these things, like making how do millionaires become millionaires?
Right.
And one of the biggest things that I've always read is that like millionaires have multiple streams of income. Like nobody can become a millionaire off of one source of income. So I've always been trying to create different streams of income my entire life. And I got into stocks like probably 2011, 2012, just researching. Like I worked with a guy who he did well. He had some penny stocks that ended up blowing up. So I was like, you know what? Let me take a look into stocks. Let me read some books and see what type of information I can find. And then for me, like it was like a gut feeling. Like there were like some of the stocks that I've invested in. Like I had a feeling that they were gonna do well. Like for one, Square.
Square Cash.
Yeah, like Square Cash. Like we use Square Wipers, swipers or whatever. But like I remember I was in Harrisonburg at the time, and like all small businesses had Squares. So it was like, I'm in this little town, and all these people have Square. What's happening in a city? And when there's way more entrepreneurs in that area, what's happening here? What's happening? So that's how I started. That was my first investment. And that has done really well for me. It's actually up and down right now, but overall it's done well for me.
What's some of the biggest losses you've taken? Like what? Yeah.
To be honest, like I haven't taken like any like crazy losses.
Really?
Yeah. Like because I only invest in like things that kind of make sense, I guess. Like I'm not gonna run down all my investments, but I haven't taken any like huge losses because I'm not like a trader, like a day trader who like just goes in there, tries to find something that's gonna make a quick buck and sell it off. I try to go long term.
Where you really think it through before you invest in everything.
Somewhat,
It's not rushing everything. That's something I need to get into, man. Like you said, multiple streams of income is the only way to really get to get yourself to that next level of finances. You know.
Yeah, it helps ease things. It helps ease things a lot. Like I don't know, we were talking about it before. Like I run Airbnb out of my basement in my house. Like I have like a secluded area in my basement, so I just turned it into an Airbnb suite. Put like a keypad lock on the back door, and then so people can just allow themselves in. I don't ever have to like see them or deal with them unless they want to be seen or dealt with. And then that brings in an extra X amount of dollars each month. So like just trying to think of things like that are possible.
That's the way to do it, especially in the Black community. You know, I feel like we don't know things like that. You know, those small little things that
it's
you
not
can
talked
do.
about.
Yeah, like the small little things you can do that can change your life, your family's life. You know. It definitely needs to have more. We definitely need to have more conversations like these out in the open.
Yeah, for sure.
Just so people are exposed and can have ideas sparked for themselves on what they should do.
Yeah, man.
Could you see yourself ever starting any other pages? Is there any other markets you would want to tap into?
There are. There's a couple. There's a couple I've been thinking about, but I don't know. I want to give it some time. I want to build this page out for sure first, and then maybe transition into some other things. Like I was just watching last night. There's a new documentary on Netflix. It's called Insta Famous. I think it's called Insta Famous. And I just watched the first episode. It was about the account Fuck Jerry. Have you seen that account?
Nah.
The account has stupid amounts of followers, like 41, 42 million followers, like stupid amounts. And all he does is just repost memes, right? But like they showed him back in like 2014, like he was gaining attention. They were like, "What are you trying to do?" He was just describing a couple of things. And then fast forward to 2016 to see in 2014 it was just him and his boy doing it. 2016 he has an entire office in New York City. They created the game, the board game or the card game. What Do You Mean? Have you ever seen that game? It's like Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it.
they created it. Like, there's so many different things that you can do, and also my point to that is that he created like 6 or 7 of other widely known pages. Like, there's a page called Beige Cardigan, which is his page, and that page has like another like 13 million. It's literally just like fuck Jerry for girls, basically. It's
memes for girls.
More or less. Like, it's not. It seems that way because I think the person who runs it is a female, so like that's the way it comes off. But yeah, like there's so many different pages. He was talking about like, he has news pages, food pages. They like his agency runs people's pages and people pay him to run pages. Like, there's so many different things you can do with it. And like at the time, you know, a couple of years back, like I didn't see Instagram as that. Like I just saw like as something that people like posting pictures on.
Yeah, what do you say to the people that hate social media and hate Instagram, that say that it's like the worst thing that's happened to this generation and shit?
I was literally right there with y'all.
2 years ago.
Like 2 years ago, I didn't think it was like the worst thing that happened, but I didn't really get it. Like I was like, it's cool, I guess, but like I didn't realize the possibilities that are out there for social media. Like people create entire businesses out of social media. They really remake their lives. They change other people's lives. Like just there's so many different things out there that are possible with social media. So.
Yeah, and I think people, on the opposite end, I think some people just take it too literal sometimes too, and think that everything that they're seeing on social media is like a little representation of what's going on in that person's life. You know, I guess not relevant to the businesses, but you know, because I just hear a lot about people just hate or just talking about how much like of a negative influence it has on them and stuff, and I don't really get it. You know, I don't ever feel that when I go to social media. It's always like inspiring.
Like saying like bad things, like is that what you mean?
No, just almost like jealousy and envy. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
okay.
When people just see people living like super good and think that that's how their life is supposed to be, but really they don't know how that person even got to that mansion or that vacation or whatever.
Yeah, I think it definitely opens up insecurities in people, especially like when you're on Instagram and you see like a 19-year-old millionaire. You're like, what the fuck?
Right.
Like how did that happen?
Right.
But you don't know their story. Like you don't know what type of things they did. But yeah, man, like that's just insecurity. If you see somebody and you're like, oh, I wish I had what they had, or I'm supposed to be there.
I feel like it has way more advantages than it does disadvantages. But it sounds like the disadvantages are really overpowering how the benefits of it. Just by like the way, I don't know, maybe it's just the people that I've been talking to or whatever. It just doesn't seem like people are appreciating it enough, honestly, you know?
Yeah, I think that goes into somebody's like mentality, like how they view the world. Like if you look at it in a pessimistic way, like that's what you're gonna get out of it.
Yeah. I just can't see myself taking a break from social media.
No, you've never taken a break? Like you've never taken like a couple days, like I need to get off?
Nah.
Really?
Never.
Wow.
It's just fun, dude. I fucking love scrolling down the Instagram page. It's just fun as hell.
I used to take breaks like every now and then because like the Explore page, like I try as hard as possible not to get on the Explore page anymore. So I would literally get on the Explore page, and I remember one time like I was probably on the Explore page for like 2 hours, dude, like 2.5, 3 hours. Like it was just crazy. It was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm literally just scrolling through these images. Like,
yeah.
What am I doing with my time?
And it's crazy because I actually never got into the Explorer page like that until I started trying to build my following and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just like take like just enjoyment out of looking at other people's stuff, like people I know, and just dive into that. Explorer page is dangerous though. You can definitely just get lost. It's like going on YouTube and then just following your recommendations.
Right,
you can
just down the rabbit hole. You see like one fitness model and you're like, oh shit, let me look at those.
Right. So with the podcast, we'll Flyer Pop podcast, since you'll be a part of that now.
Yeah.
Man, what are you looking forward to with that?
The interview process, like I love getting to know like the stories behind how something was created. So like I'm really excited to be a part of this, to sit down with people and to just hear what they have going on, what they've built, and where they're going to take it to in the next couple of years or whatever their plans are. Because I don't know, man. It's inspiring.
Yeah, definitely. That's the one thing I've noticed too. I feel like the more conversations I've had with people and realizing how similar our struggles are and our stories of like trying to make it, you know, how similar those stories can be, that's like, it motivates you like twice as much, especially when you're interviewing someone more successful than you, because you know that they were just where you were not too long ago and shit. So
right.
That's something I really appreciated with doing the podcast, and as well as just telling people stories, you know. I feel like a lot of people have a lot of game that can help someone else and they don't even realize it, you know what I'm saying? Like people just, I don't know. I definitely believe that everyone you come across has a message for you, a specific message for you to hear, and you just got to be willing to hear it.
Very true. I think we all take our own experiences for granted because we don't know what anybody else's experience is. So like, to us, it's just our everyday or our day to day. Like it's something that happens, but like you just said, there's something that could have happened to me yesterday that might benefit you today.
Right.
But unless we're willing to share those stories, that stuff just goes by the wayside.
Facts. Let's talk about the gym life, man, because I don't think that's something we cannot talk about on the Danny interview, honestly. I hit you up last night, you was in the fucking gym. This morning you hit me up to go in the gym. How often are you in the gym, and like where did that habit come from?
I try to get in the gym as much as possible, man. Like, especially like with my daughter, like so it's not always easy to get in. But whenever I get like a second to get in the gym, man, I get in there. But I don't know where that came from. Like I started lifting like in high school football. We had like a lifting coach, and like he like broke some of the things down. So like I just started lifting then, and then like as I gotten older, like it's progressed into doing different things. Like the other day I was doing like a pool workout. Day before that I was doing some like plyometric workouts. I do yoga and stuff. Like I don't know. Like I like to combine a lot of different things into my training, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. I'm not training for anything, but like just.
Have you ever done the trainer thing?
Hell, I did a group training thing. Like I was a group trainer.
Oh, like
like set up different stations and like have people go through like the stations, and that was pretty fun. But I don't know, like I think I could do that like on like a super part-time basis, but like that's not. I don't want to put my energy there.
Why not?
I don't know. I feel like there's other things that I want to accomplish, and that has always been like a maybe, but there's some things that are more definitely for me.
Speaking of what you want to accomplish, growing up, what did you see yourself doing? Like, what were some of the ideas you had as a kid, like in high school and in elementary?
In high school, I don't really know. I don't think I thought about it too much in high school, but like as a kid, like I always wanted to be like everything. Like
entrepreneur type shit.
I guess. But like for real, like I wanted to like fly planes. I wanted to like be like a chef. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to do this and that. And what I realized is, as an adult, like that's possible. Like not necessarily like be like an actual chef. Like I can go to culinary school and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like I can learn how to fly a plane. Like that's something that's possible. Or I can take culinary classes and be able to cook like a chef. Like not like a world-renowned chef, but I can cook like a chef. Or I can do whatever it is that I want to be able to do, just as long as I'm open and willing to go out for it.
Was there ever any like a specific thing like you were like, man, I gotta do this? Was it the flying thing?
One thing, nah, man. One thing, as a kid, no. Like a little bit older, like I literally cannot think of one time where there was one thing from like a kid to now that I absolutely wanted to be. I know one of my boys, he had that and he got it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
For me, I've always been all over the place.
I was kind of the same way. Like I always just wanted to just make a lot of money, whatever I did. When I was super young, I wanted to be a doctor, but then once I realized that other niggas made money, just as much money as doctors do, I started hopping in other things like business and like entrepreneurship, a bunch of random stuff too. But I don't know. I feel like it's kind of crazy how we expect ourselves to be a certain type of way as a kid, and we just end up like where we are now. Like,
yeah, man.
I would have never imagined I would be where I am now. You know.
Nah, but I don't know. Like I guess I never gave it that much thought. Like as a kid, like I didn't really view life going a certain way. Like yeah, I always thought I was gonna be successful, and I still do believe I'm gonna be successful. But I never saw how it was gonna happen.
Right.
But I have more of an idea now. Like I guess when you think those things through, it becomes more clear.
Where would you say? Because you seem like with the gym thing and all, where would you say like the discipline comes from with being in there, or is it more of like is that like a fun thing for you?
No, that's damn near a necessity for me, man.
Yeah. So you don't really have to discipline yourself to do it. You just.
Yeah, like I know if I have some time, I gotta get in there. Like for me, it's more about my own mental health. Like if I'm not physically active, my mentality changes. Like when I'm physically active, I'm driven. Like I know what needs to be done, and I can go do it. When I'm not active, like I can sit back and be like on Netflix. I can do like some Netflix and chill shit for like a couple hours, and that's not the type of person that I want to be. You know what I'm saying? So for me, being physically active, like it really helps me progress, like just in life in general.
Just stay moving.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Yeah, man, I definitely need to pick up some of those habits. Hopefully some of that shit rubs off on me.
I mean, I hit you up this morning to go to the gym.
Yeah, honestly though, I immediately regretted saying no. I was like, man, I should have just hopped on a bike or something. Did something there.
We got the bikes there, man. You good.
Right, after hitting you, I was like, let me hit Ross, and me and Ross went over there.
Fucked it up,
Killed the
man.
workout real quick. That's why I'm
Yeah,
literally
you
still in
got
the
to
hoodie and workout clothes right now, man. Just came straight from the gym here.
100%.
He knew not to call.
Yeah, he was already there.
I said he knew who not to call.
Oh, knew who not to call. Yeah, I'm surprised he even called me asking me that. I was like, what?
Man, I
You know who you called, bro?
yeah, man. I mean, the thing is, like, if I see somebody who's like, I'm trying to do this, and like, it doesn't have to be like I can help, but like I can like do something about it. Like I'm gonna try to do something about it.
Yeah.
You my guy, so you're like, I'm trying to get back right in the gym. Like I seen some posts, and then I hit you, and you're not trying to do it. It's like, was it real or was it? Like, what was it?
It's gonna happen.
Like, I don't
It's
know.
gonna happen. Nah, I feel you on that too. And honestly, I appreciated it. Like to me, that's a real friend. You know. I feel like that's what real friends are supposed to do, especially when you say something. If you say something, you should back it up, and somebody should hold you accountable for it.
Right.
Too. So I definitely appreciate that, and it's definitely motivating and pushing me to get right. I'm gonna get on my shit eventually for sure.
Eventually.
I'm gonna leave it at eventually. I ain't gonna say tomorrow or this week. I'm gonna say soon.
All right. I'm gonna keep hitting you and see what happens. That's not how it
All right, but I kind of want to switch it up a little bit, man. Let's just talk about some things that's going on, like some current events.
Yeah.
And I guess it's kind of related to the strong Black fathers thing. What do you think about the R. Kelly situation right now? Are you able to separate the music from the madness, or
Maybe
is that nigga canceled? Like
maybe someone. I don't know. To me, it's weird because like this is shit that people have known like
For years.
Like, but it's like every now and then they bring it back up. Like they just repeat it. I don't get it.
They're actually doing it with Drake right now too. Apparently, like he kissed and like was messing with this 17-year-old chick on stage last year or a few years ago, and yeah, like it seems like, I don't know. It just seems like everybody's dirt from the past is just coming back to haunt them type shit.
I think we live in a dangerous age, like, and that's honestly the reason why I wasn't big on social media. Not because I think I post dumb stuff. Like I'm very like conservative with the type of stuff that I post, but the fact that like somebody like might post, I guess when I graduated college, like people were getting their Facebooks like looked at by companies that were gonna hire them to know what type of shit they were doing.
Right.
In the past, like people like they don't care. They don't understand the power of the internet and put what the stuff that goes out there, what it can do in the future. So like most recently, the one that I've been seeing a lot of is Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart had those posts, I don't know, like 5-6 years ago about gay black men. And
Just being,
a
bunch of anti
I don't even think it was really like that anti like.
He was just calling people the F word,
right,
like making fun of his friends, calling them gay and stuff.
Right. And that's where I think it's really weird where we are. Like we're in this like hyper sensitive like PC culture. Like I remember 21 Savage just dropped that song where he said like trying to get rich like Jews or something like that.
Yeah.
LeBron reposted or retweeted it, and then like a Jewish dude got mad, and like that's like a compliment.
Right.
Like y'all like Jewish people get money, so like I'm trying to get money. Like I don't know, but like we just live in this really weird. Yeah, it's just a really weird time. And like things that you do in your past, you just gotta be careful because that shit can come back to haunt you.
I'm honestly kind of worried too, because I know I've definitely said a lot of things. It's not things I'm not necessarily.
Fucking troll.
I wouldn't. I'm not a troll, bro. But I do just be like, I'll say the first thing to my mind from my head. You know, I'm very unfiltered.
Yeah.
So especially when it comes to like tweets and shit.
But that's weird, man. Like you don't like feel a certain type of way about doing that online, like an online presence.
No, my mom hates it too, cause I'll talk about the government, I'll talk about anything. I don't really care. And I'll put it on my Facebook, I'll put it on my Twitter and shit. And I know that niggas are looking at that shit too. But
right.
I don't know, man. I feel like I'm big on honesty. You know, I feel like if niggas are just being honest with themselves and with everyone around them, like that's how we could resolve a lot of issues. You know what I'm saying? Even with racist people, be honest about being racist so we can be aware of it. You know, I don't want to find out later, or you just say something slick, and then I start thinking maybe this nigga's racist. You know what I mean? Just let me know off rip, and then we can maybe fuck with each other or not, whatever it may be. You know, so I don't know. I'm really big on honesty, but trolling is something different, and that's something I'll never try to do. I do try to provoke thought. I will take a position that I may not necessarily agree with just to make someone think, but I don't think, is that trolling?
That's playing devil's advocate, and I think
Right.
playing devil's advocate in today's like language is a troll.
It's
Like, I don't
AKA
know.
troll. I can see
I don't really
that
know
too.
what a troll is, but like I think
Yeah, I can see that
that
too.
that can be seen that way. But anyway, now it's funny that you said it because I was thinking about just the other day, like somebody like posted on one of my pictures like, how do we know these are strong black fathers? I'm like, the fuck, like who?
Word.
Why do you have time for that shit? Who has time for that shit?
Was it
Those
like
are niggas that make the world go round, bro. Them called haters, bro.
Right.
Them
That's
called
a fact.
haters, bro.
Right.
That's a fact.
They make the world go around, bro.
Was it like an egg account, or was it like a real account that accounted?
I
You didn't look.
Nah, so yeah, I don't pay too much mind. You know,
Shit.
I didn't even respond to like I don't. It's
I would've
weird.
stalked
You just
that,
got
man.
time for that shit.
I would have had hella words for that, man.
What's the point? Where's it gonna go?
I don't know. I feel
Pass
like
them on.
you're right about it too. You're definitely right that it's not worth the energy. But I don't know. Sometimes the conversations can be had too, just for the sake of it. And then especially on like the comments and shit, people see that you'll go there if you need to. I guess it's on when it's necessary type of thing.
Yeah.
What's we talked about Creed recently about how motivating that was to get back in or to get in the gym because you never left that bitch. But just how that motivates you in the gym and shit. What's some of the other recent movies that you fucked with?
Shit. I don't know. I haven't seen like a lot of like in theaters or just like period.
Just in general, yeah. Or some shows or something.
I watched Rampage the other day, like
Is
The
that-
Rock. That shit was like, it was goofy, but it was a decent movie, I guess. I don't know. I'm not like a crazy like huge like film buff or film goer. Like there's a couple movies that like every now and then I'm like, yeah, I need to see. Like I'm real like big on seeing black people in movies and TV. So like if there's like a good black film that's out there, then yeah, I'm gonna try to go see it. And it's funny, like there's Blackish. Show Blackish.
Yeah.
Like I was watching one episode and like they were going to see like a black movie just for the sake that it was a black movie.
Word.
Like it wasn't like a good movie or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I'm trying just to go out and see good movies.
I'm down to see a movie no matter what, especially if it's a black movie or black people and it's supporting black culture.
Yeah, man.
With that, man, us being African and all, like what's that for you? Having that culture tied to your life.
It means a lot. It means a lot. I guess it's a little bit. It's weird because like I'm very like American. I guess you know like I'm very African American. I'm very black. Like I'm not so much like African. Where I like how to like separate the two. Like
People
I
probably
don't
would never even know that you're African, right?
Maybe not. Yeah. Like I don't speak Twi, which is a language of my parents from Ghana, which that shit is kind of annoying. It's like y'all didn't want to teach us that shit.
You don't understand it either?
No, like it's weird. My little sister can understand it more so, but like now, like me and my brothers, like we don't. And like I remember, like my parents were like, the reason why we didn't teach you is so we could talk shit about y'all. You got your back. Oh, that's just grimy. Like,
And that's something I can relate to 1,000%. My parents, I don't speak Kinyarwanda either, and they'll dead ass do that. Especially my dad and his wife, my stepmom. I feel like they do that all day, and I'm sitting right there.
Right.
I know they're talking about.
Oh,
me,
yeah,
but they're saying it in
yeah.
the language. I'm like, I'm right here. Once y'all speaking English, if y'all talking about me, like. We'll be mid-conversation and they'll just start talking in their own language. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't even know what y'all saying. I don't know. I think they low-key do just be shooting jabs.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about your parents or just Ghanaians?
Ghanaians?
I don't know about them, but Rwandese are mad critical.
Oh.
Mad judgmental.
Bro, I honestly think that's like, first of all, it's like almost all African parents, but I think that's like almost any other culture parents.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like I think like any outside culture, like I have like Hispanic friends tell me the same shit. Indian parents are like probably the worst.
I see that with
like,
Eastern
When I think about like some of my Indian friends, I'm like, God damn, like I thought I had pressure, but shit.
Yeah, because I see that they portray that well in movies and TV shows for sure. You see that a lot in media. I can see that for sure.
Yeah, man.
Do you have you been back to Ghana recently?
I have never been to Ghana, man. That's one of the things that are on my list for 2019. Shit, I was about to say 2018, but yeah, 2019 is on. It's definitely on the list, and if I can make that shit happen, like that's one of the bigger goals that I need to cross off my list.
Were you born here or there?
Born here. I was born in Connecticut.
Oh, okay. Where?
Yeah. What about you? You born out there?
Yeah, I came here when I was 1.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So you moved down here from Connecticut?
Yeah, moved around. Like I think Connecticut to like Tennessee to I don't know somewhere else, and then ended up in Virginia.
When did you come to Virginia?
I was like 4.
Okay, so most of your life.
Yeah, I've been in Virginia like
word.
a good amount of my life. Yeah, like and honestly in this general region, like I think we moved to like Reston when I first moved out here.
Yeah.
And then, you know,
Shout out to Reston, that's where I'm currently posted at.
Hey man, shout out to Reston.
Town Center.
Yeah, get some tacos at Bar Taco.
Hill Boys, all that.
All that.
So you talked about some of your favorite social media pages. Let's talk about music a little bit. What are you listening to right now?
Man, I don't know. Like I was literally, we were sitting here right before the podcast started. We were listening to Pierre and Cardo's mixtape.
Oh,
and
right.
that is hard. Like, that's
Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
I'm gonna go home and listen to that. But like in terms of like full length album, like the last thing that I listened to, I honestly can't even remember.
You can't. What would you say would be the last joint that impressed you? You were like, yo, this is like an impressive project. Even if it was long, even if it was fucking Take Care or something. Like, what was the last
I
joint?
don't like music to Take Care.
Just super outdated. I know for me, like I'll say, fucking 21 Savage was definitely hard, but Kodak Black's album was that was something that actually impressed me a lot. Like Kodak's, it was very cohesive and it was versatile. And there was some song jumps. There was some ones where he was opening up and being really personal about friends that crossed him and shit.
Yeah.
Then I don't know, he had and then there was some street songs where it was just like regular street shit. I was impressed by that album, especially with him being only 21 years old. All the jail shit that's surrounding him, like the
Damn, I didn't realize he was
charges
only
and shit.
21.
Yeah. He's been in and out of jail and all the charges he got going on. I didn't expect for him to make something so artful, because it's a musical album.
Right.
You know? It's not just a nigga rapping. It's not mumble rap by any means. I was really impressed by that one.
So I'm scrolling through my phone trying to find something to go off. A Boogie with the hoodie season, completely surprised me.
Yeah.
Like I don't listen to A Boogie with the I don't listen. There's a lot of artists I don't actually listen to or I haven't actually listened to until just recently.
Right.
I like listen to their full albums. And A Boogie's album probably just came out a couple days ago. And
It was like late December. Yeah.
yeah, man, it's good. Actually, nah. You know who truly surprised me? Tekashi 6ix9ine. Never listened to a song by his until he dropped that album, and literally from like top to bottom were just hits. Like, and to me, like hype hits. So like I'm like a lot of the music I listen to is when I'm in the gym.
Yeah.
So like it's good to have that type of music, and to me like that was completely out of nowhere because I did not know what his sound was or anything like that.
Nah, I can't lie, dude. That album impressed me too. Cause I hated Tekashi, especially when he first came out.
Right, like to me he's a clown.
I
Like,
hated
but,
that nigga.
yeah.
I hated him. But honestly, like after watching the second Breakfast Club interview and then hearing that album, it definitely took a lot of my like hate out of him. Then you kind of realize like, yo, this was just a little dude who had a team of people behind him supporting him to do stupid shit.
Really?
I mean, that's how I look at it. You know, like his management, all those people that was stealing from him and everything, they had to be like pushing him to do that type of like
Make that image.
yeah, like you know, portray that shiesty, that dirty shit. So I don't know.
Enough, man.
I kind of feel bad for the nigga now, honestly. Like I genuinely, I feel like a little sympathetic for him. At the same time, I know he very well deserves it, maybe even worse. But like,
I don't know. I think like we're a product of our own like choices.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
our environments can influence us, but like if you're like mentally capable, like if you can form thoughts, like you should be able to know like if something is wrong or right. But like some people just like the clout, like they want the fame that bad that they're willing to do anything for it. And mad respect to him, much respect to him because he was willing to do anything for it.
literally,
Yeah.
that nigga really put his life on the line because I'm sure that nigga could have died plenty of times.
Right.
That Chicago shit when he stepped out on O Block for that little quick 2 seconds.
And
You see that?
Nah,
And he drove to Chicago, went to O Block, one of the most dangerous hoods in the South Side. But he just like literally got out of the car for 2 seconds, took a picture, hopped right back in the car, and there's footage of someone else recording that nigga doing that, and he did it just to flex and like pop off at Chicago niggas. It was really stupid, honestly. But that nigga could have died right there if he was out like 2 minutes longer or whatever. Like,
right. And as stupid as it is, obviously it's entertaining, or else we would be talking about it. Yeah.
Facts. That's a good point.
That dude was an entertainer. 100%.
That's true. That's true. Real clown shit though. Real life clown shit. But yeah, man. We have like 45 minutes right now. Anything else you want to add in this, John? Any points?
Nah, no big points. Just go out, go follow Strong Black Fathers, go support that page. Got some funny things, some good things on there.
It's fire content, honestly, man. Especially for the culture. Like it is something neat. I think that's really, just as an observer, I think that's probably something that boosted the success or that's boosted the following. It's just how needed it really is. And like you said, it's something that you are starting to realize now. You know, just how much it's appreciated but needed. It's necessary because when you think of a black father, you think absent. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's weird that in this day and age, like, and I'm sure the statistics are showing that that's definitely not the case as much anymore.
Definitely.
But like that's still the stereotype.
Yeah. Because there's still deadbeats too. Like,
I mean, but there's deadbeat white dads. There's deadbeat Spanish dads. That's not only accompanied with black fathers.
Yes.
So the fact that stigma is still out there, like I was like, I hate that. I can't stand it.
And to be honest, like you could probably argue that the reason that the stigma happened wasn't because black fathers were deadbeats back in the day. Honestly, a lot of the black fathers weren't around because they were in jail or they had fucked up situations and things that were probably like kind of controlled.
Right. Like in all honesty, like when they think like black fathers aren't around, it's not always because deadbeats. More just so absent black fathers. And like to your point, it was literally because they were getting locked up left and right.
Right.
You know, for small charges that are illegal now. So
yeah, exactly.
You know, it is what it is, I guess. Just trying to do a little bit of my part, I guess, to help change that stigma.
I'm with that, man. You got my support 1,000%, bro. It's some dope shit. I fuck with it. I'm all for it.
Appreciate it.
Well, the Spanish music is cutting on, so I think that's that's all right. Hey. But nah, definitely make sure you guys go check out the Strong Black Fathers page. It's at Strong Black Fathers.
At Strong Black Fathers.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys follow Flyer Population on all social media pages. Check out our podcast on all streaming services. We're on Google Podcasts, Spotify, whatever you use to listen to podcasts. Check that out. We're gonna be on YouTube now. Expect the visuals. That's something that we're gonna add to this season.
Podcast dropping weekly. They're gonna be out there, so make sure that you stay tuned. We'll get the updates.
Yeah, we got a really, really, really dope lineup for this year, man.
Word. We
got a lot of people coming on. I'm really excited to have on. There's a lot of talent, a lot of creatives, a lot of positive. Like positivity sounds so cliche. I feel like these days, but
self-employment, fam. You know?
Yeah. Entrepreneurs. A lot of people that are self-employed. People that are really building things for themselves. I think that's something that we gotta continue to expose and to push on people because. Like right now, the government shut down. Niggas ain't getting their checks.
No checks, bro. Niggas not getting paid, bro.
So yeah, man, we'll wrap it at that. Again, follow our pages. Thank you for coming on, bro. Thank you for joining the team. Thank you for joining the Flyer Pop Podcast.
Of course.
I'm super excited for the future. What we gonna make happen.
Got some big things in the making.
Definitely appreciate you, man.
All right, bro.
Europe,
100.
Come book your goddamn session. Studio.